Hey everyone, it's Money Mindset time and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of defensive stocks, a crucial topic for anyone looking to build a resilient portfolio. Now you might be thinking, stocks? Resilient? Isn't the market a risky place? And yeah, you're not wrong, but that's where defensive stocks come in. These are companies that tend to hold up well even when the economy takes a hit, kind of like that one friend who always seems to land on their feet. We're talking about companies that provide essential goods and services that people rely on, no matter what's happening in the world. Think about it. Even in a recession, people still need to eat, drink, and take care of their health, right? So let's break down what defensive stocks are all about and why you might want to consider adding them to your investment mix. So let's kick things off with one of the most classic examples of defensive stocks consumer staples. These are the companies behind the everyday products you know and love. I'm talking about food, drinks, household goods, personal care items, all that good stuff. Think about your average trip to the grocery store. You're probably picking up things like bread, milk, toothpaste, shampoo essentials you use regularly, regardless of whether the economy's booming or going through a rough patch. That's the beauty of consumer staples. Demand for these products remains relatively stable, even during economic downturns. People still need to brush their teeth and do laundry, right? This consistent demand translates into relatively stable earnings for consumer staples companies, which can make them attractive investments, especially if you're looking for a smoother ride in the stock market. Now, it's important to note that consumer staples companies might not experience the same explosive growth as some high-flying tech stocks, but remember, that's not really their game. Their strength lies in their ability to weather economic storms and continue generating steady, reliable returns for investors seeking stability and dividends. So, if you're looking for a solid foundation for your portfolio, consumer staples are definitely worth considering. They're like that reliable friend you can always count on no matter what life throws your way. Alright, now that we've covered the basics of consumer staples, let's dive into a specific example. Procter Gamble, or P&G as it's commonly known. You've definitely encountered their products before. They're the powerhouse behind iconic brands like Tide detergent, Crest toothpaste, Gillette razors, Pampers diapers, and Head & Shoulders shampoo, just to name a few. Seriously, take a look around your house, and I guarantee you'll find at least a couple of P&G products. What makes P&G such a classic example of a defensive stock? Well, they've got a few things going for them. First off, their products are deeply ingrained in our daily lives. I mean, people need to wash their clothes, brush their teeth, and take care of their babies no matter what the economy's doing, right? Second, P&G has built incredibly strong brand recognition over decades. When people think about detergent, they think Tide. When they think about diapers, they think Pampers. This kind of brand loyalty gives P&G a competitive edge, even in tough economic times. And lastly, P&G has a massive global reach, selling its products in over 180 countries. This diversification helps to mitigate risk, because even if one region is experiencing a downturn, other markets can help to offset those losses. So, if you're looking for a well-established, dividend-paying company with a history of weathering economic storms, P&G is definitely worth adding to your watch list. Now, let's talk about another giant in the consumer staples space. Coca-Cola. This company needs no introduction, right? Their iconic red cans and bottles are recognized worldwide, and their beverages are enjoyed by millions every single day. But what makes Coca-Cola a defensive stock? Well, think about it. People drink Coke, Sprite, Fanta, and their other beverages in good times and bad. Whether it's a celebration, a casual hangout with friends, or just a pick-me-up during a stressful day, Coca-Cola's products are there. This consistent demand, regardless of the economic climate, is a hallmark of a defensive stock. People might cut back on luxury items or big-ticket purchases during a recession, but they're less likely to give up their daily soda or juice. Plus, Coca-Cola, similar to P&G, has an incredibly strong brand and a massive global distribution network. They've spent decades building their brand and establishing relationships with retailers worldwide, giving them a significant competitive advantage. And let's not forget about the power of habit. People get used to their favorite drinks, and Coca-Cola has mastered the art of creating beverages that people crave. This brand loyalty and habitual consumption contribute to Coca-Cola's resilience even during economic downturns. So if you're looking for a classic example of a defensive stock with a long track record of success, Coca-Cola is definitely worth considering for your portfolio. Let's move on to another beverage and snack giant PepsiCo. Now you might think, Pepsi? Isn't that just a Coca-Cola competitor? And while yes, they are rivals in the beverage world, PepsiCo has a secret weapon: diversification. See, PepsiCo isn't just about sugary drinks. They've got a whole lineup of popular snack brands under their belt, like LA's potato chips, Doritos, Cheetos, Quaker Oats, and Tropicana orange juice. This diversification is key because it means they're not solely reliant on the soda market. Think about it. Even if people cut back on soda consumption due to health concerns or economic factors, they're still likely to snack. And PepsiCo has that market cornered with some of the most iconic and beloved snack brands out there. This broader product portfolio gives PepsiCo a level of stability that many other companies envy. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket, so to speak. This diversification helps to smooth out their earnings and reduce their vulnerability to fluctuations in any single market. Plus, like their counterparts at Coca-Cola, PepsiCo boasts a global presence and strong brand recognition. Their products are available worldwide and their brands have become household names, further solidifying their position as a defensive stock. Now let's shift gears and dive into another sector that's known for its defensive qualities: healthcare. It's no secret that healthcare is essential, regardless of the economic climate. People still get sick, need medical attention, and require medications, whether the economy is booming or facing a downturn. This non-cyclical nature of healthcare makes it a particularly attractive sector for defensive investors. People can't simply put off essential medical treatments or medications because times are tough. This consistent demand helps to insulate healthcare companies from the worst of economic downturns. Within the healthcare sector, you'll find a wide range of investment opportunities, from pharmaceutical giants developing life-saving drugs to medical device manufacturers creating innovative technologies to healthcare providers offering essential services. This diversity within the sector adds another layer of appeal for investors. You can choose to focus on specific areas that align with your investment goals and risk tolerance. Alright, let's take a closer look at a specific heavyweight in the healthcare space: Johnson & Johnson. This company is a true behemoth with operations spanning pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and consumer health products. You've undoubtedly encountered their products before. They're the brains behind Band-Aid adhesive bandages, Tylenol pain relievers, Listerine mouthwash, Neutrogena skincare products, and AccuVu contact lenses, just to name a few. What makes Johnson & Johnson such a classic example of a defensive healthcare stock? Well, for starters, their product portfolio is incredibly diverse. They're not overly reliant on any single product or market, which helps to mitigate risk. Additionally, Johnson & Johnson has a long and storied history of innovation. They're constantly investing in research and development to bring new and improved healthcare solutions to the market. This dedication to innovation helps them stay ahead of the curve and maintain their competitive edge. Furthermore, Johnson & Johnson has a truly global reach, selling its products in over 60 countries worldwide. This geographic diversification further reduces their vulnerability to economic downturns in any single region. So, if you're looking for a well-established, dividend-paying healthcare company with a history of weathering economic storms, Johnson & Johnson is definitely worth considering for your portfolio. Now, let's turn our attention to another pharmaceutical giant that's been making headlines lately: Pfizer. You've probably heard their name a lot recently, thanks to their groundbreaking work in developing one of the leading COVID-19 vaccines. But Pfizer's history of innovation and life-saving medications extends far beyond the current pandemic. They're a global pharmaceutical powerhouse with a diverse portfolio of blockbuster drugs treating a wide range of conditions, from heart disease and cancer to inflammatory diseases and infectious diseases. What makes Pfizer a standout defensive stock in the healthcare sector? Well, their focus on research and development is unparalleled. They pour billions of dollars each year into developing new drugs and therapies, ensuring they remain at the forefront of medical advancements. This commitment to innovation translates into a steady stream of new products and patents, which is crucial for any pharmaceutical company's long-term success. Plus, Pfizer's global reach and established distribution networks ensure that their medications reach patients worldwide, further solidifying their defensive qualities. Investing in pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer can be a bit of a roller coaster ride, especially when major drug approvals or clinical trial results are announced. However, their potential to generate life-changing medications and their essential role in the healthcare system make them compelling options for investors seeking defensive growth opportunities. Let's shift gears slightly and explore another crucial aspect of the healthcare sector: health insurance. And when it comes to health insurance giants, United Health Group reigns supreme. They're the largest health insurer in the United States, providing coverage to millions of Americans through their various plans and subsidiaries. But United Health Group is more than just an insurance provider. They've expanded their operations to include healthcare services, data analytics, and health technology solutions. This diversification within the healthcare space is a key factor that makes United Health Group a compelling defensive stock. They're not solely reliant on insurance premiums, which can fluctuate depending on healthcare costs and government regulations. Their expansion into other areas of healthcare provides them with multiple streams of revenue and reduces their vulnerability to changes in any single market. Plus, United Health Group benefits from the ongoing trend of rising healthcare spending. As the population ages and the demand for healthcare services continues to grow, United Health Group is well positioned to capitalize on these trends. Of course, investing in the healthcare sector, particularly insurance, comes with its own set of challenges and regulations. Alright, let's move on to another sector that's often considered a safe haven for defensive investors: utilities. Now, utilities might not be the most glamorous or exciting sector to talk about, but trust me, they play a vital role in our daily lives and in a well-rounded portfolio. We're talking about the companies that provide essential services like electricity, gas, water, and sewage treatment. These are services that people rely on every single day, regardless of the economic climate. Rain or shine, recession or boom, people need to turn on their lights, heat their homes, and have access to clean water. This consistent and non-discretionary demand for utility services is what makes them so appealing to defensive investors. People can't simply choose to stop using electricity or water because times are tough. This essential nature of utilities translates into stable earnings and cash flows for these companies, which can make them attractive long-term investments. Plus, the utility sector is heavily regulated, which can be a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it can limit the growth potential of these companies. They often need to seek approval for rate hikes and infrastructure projects, which can be a lengthy and bureaucratic process. However, this regulation also provides a certain level of stability and predictability. Utility companies generally operate as monopolies or oligopolies in their service areas, which means they face limited competition. Let's wrap up our discussion of defensive stocks with a company that's at the forefront of clean energy and sustainable infrastructure: NextEra Energy. Now, you might be thinking, clean energy? Isn't that more of a growth sector? And you're not wrong. The clean energy sector is poised for significant growth in the coming decades as the world transitions away from fossil fuels. But here's the thing: NextEra Energy manages to straddle the line between growth and stability, making it an intriguing option for both growth-oriented and defensive investors. They're the world's largest producer of wind and solar energy, and they've been aggressively investing in renewable energy projects for years. This forward-thinking approach has positioned them as leaders in the clean energy revolution, which is only going to become more important in the years to come. But here's the key: NextEra Energy also owns Florida Power and Light, a regulated electric utility that provides electricity to millions of customers in Florida. This regulated utility business provides NextEra Energy with a stable stream of earnings and cash flow, even as they invest heavily in growth initiatives like renewable energy. This unique combination of growth potential and stable income is what makes NextEra Energy such a compelling defensive stock. They're essentially a hybrid between a traditional utility company and a renewable energy powerhouse. So, there you have it, a closer look at defensive stocks and why they deserve a spot in your portfolio. Remember, defensive stocks are all about weathering economic storms. They provide stability, consistent dividends, and peace of mind when the market gets bumpy. Now, I'm not saying your entire portfolio should be in defensive stocks. It's all about finding the right balance for your risk tolerance and investment goals. But having a solid foundation of defensive stocks can provide a buffer during market downturns and help you sleep better at night knowing that a portion of your investments is in companies that tend to hold up well, even when times get tough. If you're new to investing, consider starting with ETFs that track the consumer staples, healthcare, or utilities sectors. As your knowledge and risk tolerance grow, you can explore individual stocks within these sectors. And as always, do your own research, understand the companies you're investing in, and make sure they align with your overall investment strategy. In uncertain times, it's wise to protect your portfolio with defensive assets. Start with ETFs in essential sectors, then grow from there as your knowledge and risk tolerance expand. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more investing tips.